No, you're not going to. No, that's enough. That's it. That's enough. That's Vitamin C, the graduation song, right?
Our one and only hit.
Wow. Yeah.
Timeless.
Now a medley of my greatest hit. Here's Vitamin C.
Jeez.
I know, right? See, you wanted 10 minutes to do this, Jim. I voted for. Okay, that's enough.
Okay, Jay wanted. Jay was like, "Should we?"
I just want 2 minutes at the end of the show. That's all I need.
2 minutes
Thank
at the
a few
end.
people. I just want to get out the door.
I said, "Well, I think we could do more than 10 minutes." So, if people haven't been listening through the day, this is Jay's last day at this very radio station. Whether you're listening in Toronto, News Talk 1010, or on the iHeartRadio Talk Network, and you've been here how many years, Jay?
I think it's 5.
5.
Yeah.
And
I was with Bell previous as well when I did Mornings at Virgin.
Yeah.
And then I was on sabbatical for 18 months, and then I was back.
Yeah. And so how long have you been working in Toronto?
23 years.
How long have you?
Since 99.
Since 99?
Yeah.
And how long have you been in radio?
32 years? Something like that, since I was 19, and I'm 52.
And 23 years in Toronto.
Yeah. And then before that, I was in Halifax, did mornings at Q104. And then before that, I did breakfast television. And the first morning show I ever did was when I was 24, 25.
Pretty good.
In Toronto, Nova Scotia.
Toronto, Nova Scotia.
Toronto, Nova Scotia. The hub, buddy.
There you go.
The hub.
The hub.
And I still go home every summer, as I will this summer.
And so you're leaving, but you're not saying much. So let's say that you only had 2 minutes to say goodbye, and I said let's do it for 10 minutes. But what did you want to say?
Well, here's why I didn't need a lot of time to say goodbye, because I have thank yous that I'll get to in a second. But it is not public yet where I'm going, but I'm staying within the Bell family.
Okay.
I was presented with an incredible opportunity. For me personally, probably the opportunity of a lifetime. If you knew me for even a moment in time, once you find out this new gig that I've happily taken on, you're going to say, I almost guarantee it, that makes perfect sense for him. That is exactly where that guy should be, and doing exactly what he's going to be doing.
And when will that be? If we're following you on your socials, when will we find out?
I would venture probably around a week or so, probably from now, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got to get up and running and get rolling. And like I said, one of the reasons I didn't want a lot of time is I thought the more that I talked, the more likely I'd give something up that could give it away. And I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But know that I'm going on my own steam, and it was an opportunity that was presented to me by this company. And I jumped at it, and I was super stoked to do it. And that's why, I'm not sad about it, because I am excited about it. And it also still gives me an opportunity to hang out here once in a while. So if you guys need, you guys want someone to talk pop culture, you want another voice, or, I'm gonna be able to have that chance as well to visit with you guys once in a while.
That's true. We can have you on whenever we want. Can we have you on for the full 4 hours from time to time? It's a no.
Depends how much kind of checkbook you got.
Yeah. I think, that's great. I mean, I think I've been touched by how many people have had such great things to say about you. It's funny when you're in this industry, Jay, you know this, that you just hear reputations of people, and you'll hear, oh, yeah, that guy's a jerk, or this person, whatever.
They're a nightmare.
And I've always, before I even knew you, had heard great things about you. And we did work together in the same building for the longest time at Yonge and St. Clair, but I don't think really knew each other more than to say hi to each other in the hallways.
We would always gravitate towards each other.
Yeah.
Whenever there was ratings parties socially.
Yeah.
Like with Ryan, it was very similar. Like we knew each other from the ratings party circuit, which was our respective radio stations hearing how we did, and we'd all stand by the bar together and make fun of each other.
Yeah. It's funny because. So what? Before you say your goodbyes, what did you make of getting into talk radio? Because you were, as you mentioned before, a personality, and I almost think that doing morning radio is kind of similar to doing talk radio, because you have to do a lot of preparation for morning radio. Whereas if you're the DJ who's playing, 40 minutes nonstop, I'm not saying you don't do any preparation.
I used to walk by CFRB in News Talk 1010 in the old building, and before you guys were up here on the third floor, and think to myself, I could never do that in a million years. that is just the hardest thing in the world,
Yeah.
to not have a record to go to.
Yeah.
And when I did a show with Ryan when he had the rotating group of co-hosts, and like the day after that, I ended up leaving Bell, and then like a year later, I got a call from Mike Bendixson, who said, "We're looking at summer fill-in for Ryan, and we enjoyed you with Ryan. Do you want to fill in?" And I had moved to my cottage on the East Coast at that point, and I hung up the phone. I thought, "Oh man!" And my wife overheard the conversation, and she said, "Well, you're going." I said, I can't do talk radio. I could never do that." She said, "Well, you're going to go anyway. You got to try it. You can't not try."
Yeah.
So I spent the summer flying back and forth, and at the end of the summer, Mike called me. I remember because I was crossing the causeway, going to Caribou Island in Nova Scotia, and Mike Bendixson called me and said, "Hey man, we'd like to offer you a full-time slot with Ryan. We don't know the name of the show yet,
Yeah.
but we think you guys would be great together." And the first thing I said was, "Is Ryan okay with that?" And he said, "Yeah, Ryan's cool with it." So Ryan and I had like a chat that night, and I came to Toronto, and we just jumped on the air together. And I guess that's where I'll start my thank yous is, I talked to Mike. Thank you to Mike for putting us together and thinking that we'd sound good. And thank you to Ryan, who became an incredible partner, a great teacher, and sincerely one of the best friends I've ever had. And we've talked every day, since we started together. We would talk every day, at least once, weekends, summer vacations. And I learned a ton from the guy. And I don't know that I'll ever do better radio than I did with Ryan on The Rush, but I'm sure going to try.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it says a lot, Jay, that they went through so many people, right? I mean,
I just think they ran out.
Like for 2 years,
they just ran out of people.
had
That was it.
co-hosts.
It was like, seriously, Michaels is the only guy we got left that we haven't had on 10 times. Let's just hire him.
You say that, but I mean, it says a lot about you for not doing talk radio before to walk into that situation. Like your wife says, how are you going to not try?
Can I just say, and I've said this before to programmers that I talk to, that I think that every single person that works in this industry, that works in FM, that has never done talk, should at some point have the opportunity to do talk, be it for a weekend, be it for a week, be it for a fill-in, just to have the opportunity to get into that skill set that I think you guys have in the single hardest format there is in radio, which is to not have a net, which is music or commercials. I'm in awe of the way that you guys do what you do. I still am scared to death to be alone. You'll notice that. I never not with someone else. I need someone else. You guys can all do it amazingly, I think, by yourselves. But I've learned so much from doing this that I really hope to take the absolute best of to what I'm doing next, and that's my hope. I've really learned so much from everybody here.
Wow. I have to say that I think that's probably just, you said that you couldn't do it, and your wife said, well, you cannot not try. But I think that if you were in a position where you had to do it by yourself, you probably could. You're that good.
Well, thank God I never had to find out. And thank you. And thank you to her, because that's my wife. My wife, Sherry, has always been my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
Like when I first started in the business and didn't have any faith in myself, she would send out my demo tapes without telling me, which made for awkward phone calls. I've talked about this before, and she's been my biggest supporter here as well. When the first 6 months I had nothing but flop sweats every day before I started, and I went home thinking, I just can't do this. She would just say, "Yeah, you're going to be fine." And then she would be the cheerleader of the show. She's like, "You guys have a good show. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah.
You guys are good." I see the clock, so let me do my thank yous real quick. I want to thank everybody that produced our show. Melissa in the beginning, George, who's just awesome, Devin, who was our latest producer, Donnie, who I learned a ton from, because Donnie was the guy that and you know this, Jim, Donnie's the pusher. He's just going to push you and push you and push you and challenge your ideas and make sure you're not just mailing in a segment because you think it'll be easy. I want to thank Jim, who slid into what was not an easy situation as one host leaves and you're left with another guy. And I think you did an amazing job just jumping in and being yourself over the last number of weeks that we were together. I'm sorry it was so short, but I don't think there's anybody better to hand the keys over to than you, my friend. And whomever you work with come Monday, I think you're